All right, so welcome to our next segment. And in this session, what we're going to do is we're going to dive a little bit deeper. We talk about more the mental game, which is probably more important than many of the other things we cover, but it's the topic that gets covered the least. So think about it. That's going to apply to what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about why 99% of traders lose money. It's kind of the untold truth behind the scenes. So you might be wondering, well, why do 99% of traders lose money? I'm not talking about the day-to-day things where basically, you make some money and then you lose some money. Maybe you make $1,000 this week, then the next week you lose $1,000. I'm talking about just consistently losing money to the point where they're failed out and gone out of the business and industry. And there's a couple of big things behind it and why this happens. And one of the main reasons is really because they are focusing on the wrong things. So when we start looking at this, we start looking at why are people losing money, it's because they're not looking at the right things when it comes to trading. They're not studying the right things. They're not doing the right things. In fact, most traders are set up to fail because all the information out there is not going to give them the win. And that's just the way the nature of society works. So the big key point is that people are basically going after what they want, not necessarily what they need. So when we search for things, we're going after what we want, but not what we actually need. And you'll see here as we go into an example and actually start looking at the different things people are searching for, or what are the critical things or the primary things that we actually are looking for when we do, like, let's say a search on YouTube, or just in the day-to-day thinking about growing or evolving as a trader. And I'll give you an example. Let's go ahead and take a look at we're going to go into house blueprints in a second, but let's go on YouTube for a minute. And let's just do a quick search. Okay, so if we do a quick search here and we go in and we say how to trade, let's say stocks. Okay, so as for a lot of videos out here that are promoted, how to trade stocks as a beginner, as a complete beginner, what's happening? What are these videos actually talking about? They're talking about the basics. How do you get into it and so on? How do you invest $100? How do you invest in stocks for a beginner? And what are they really going to discuss? A full course. What are they pointing out? They're pointing out the actual the lines, the technical analysis, and so on. But this is all actually the wrong things to focus on. This won't make you very successful. In fact, a lot of the videos, and I will be fully honest on this, in fact, a lot of the videos I do as well on even critical charts and on the YouTube side here, when we look at a lot of the videos here, they are not actually the proper things to focus on. So you might be wondering, well, why the hell do you make the videos? Well, it's because this is what people are searching for, okay? But the appropriate things is when I actually work with people one-on-one, that's when we actually get into the meat and purpose and the actual things that will work. And what are those things? And what are the things that you got to focus on? And that is risk and money management. You see, what happens when you look on YouTube, what you're really searching for is, technical indicators. For stock trading. So you're starting to look up things like this. So we're looking up technical indicators or best technical indicators, the top 5 trading indicators. That's what we mentally want to do, but it's the wrong stuff. Okay. These indicators will only help you about 5% of your total trading. Again, I'm just taking a number out there and just guessing, but let's say maybe 7%, 12%, 4%. It's not going to help you, enormously. It'll help you some, but not a lot. And that is because people don't know the fundamentals behind risk and money management. They don't know how to spread capital. What's the other thing they do? Let's say they look up chart patterns for stocks. They're looking up like this. Okay, so know these 3 chart patterns, best guide to chart patterns. Okay, so you're looking at chart patterns. But if I know risk and money management, I don't really care about chart patterns. If I look at, let's say, option strategies, when we get into options and you do options, a lot of these videos I create as well. But it's because what happens is the nature of people's search is that. It's where they start out with. Okay, so when you start looking at this iron condor tutorial, and all that is nice from the basic standpoint. However, the problem with that is we're still focusing on the wrong thing. Because when I actually work with people one-on-one, we actually forget a lot of this stuff. Not forget, but we twist the focus. And the focus needs to be more on risk and money management. Because if you start focusing on the little intricate details, what you're doing is you're looking at a little branch, a little part of the tree rather than the bigger picture of how do you actually spread money? How do you actually spread risk? And it's just human nature characteristics that when we look at even let's say we're talking about a dating relationship. Okay, in a dating relationship, what do people search for? They search for pickup lines. Okay, whereas if you told them to go ahead and say, well, you need to improve communications, you need to improve how to be a good person, how to think about other people, all these things. People are going to say, I don't want that. I want the pickup lines. So the point is that it's, the people that are actually doing the searches, just naturally what's built into us, we are actually naturally set up to search for the wrong things. And then all the information that's out there is going to feed us the things that we are searching for, because that is what we're looking for, even though it's not the things you should be looking for. Instead, what you should be looking at is risk management for, let's say, options trading. So when you start looking at this, what you'll notice is there probably are a handful of videos, but they won't go in as much detail. They'll look at maybe some little intricacies, but the issue with that is they won't go in as much depth. And you'll see that when you start looking at risk management, some of these videos will not be that popular. And there's a lot less videos on this than there are on other things, and they're clicked a lot less as well. So when we start looking at actual risk management, is how do we actually spread money and capital? Think about it for a minute. If you've made it this far to the video, congratulations, you'll be ahead. Because now if I look at actually spreading risk and money management, let's look at a house blueprint. How would you go ahead and hide money, let's say in this house? So here we got a blueprint of a house. It's just a Etsy blueprint that doesn't really matter too much. But how would I go ahead and hide? Let's say I gave you, I like this example. I use this in the coaching side. How would I go ahead and hide $100? How would I properly do that? But you got to hide $100 somewhere in this house, and you know that a robber is going to come. So you got to hide it. You can't take it to the bank. It's got to be hidden in the house. How would you do it? Okay, from a regular person standpoint, okay, they'll, pick somewhere here. Maybe they'll put it in this toilet right here in a bag and put it in the toilet water area, so that way people don't tend to look there. Or somewhere else, maybe in another zone of some sort where it's hide to figure it out or find it. Maybe in an oven or stove or something like that, or under a stove. So they might think of a creative way. Maybe they'll make a nook. But here's the way, a risk management way we would approach it is, why not take $100, convert it into 1 penny. So I got 1 pennies everywhere. I got penny, 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 penny. So when you start looking at it like this, I've got all these pennies, and I start spreading a penny around everywhere. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know that probably this video won't get clicked a lot. So it's one of the things I cover a lot in my coaching areas is how do we properly spread capital? And when we go in and we cover a penny here, a penny here, a penny here, a penny here, a penny there, a penny there, a penny there. Now, if a robber comes in and tries to steal $100, it's going to take him 3 to 5 days to find all your pennies. Even if he finds a few pennies, let's say he finds $5 worth of pennies. Well, you still got $95 left. And this is the same thing in the market. What we need to do is spread money and spread capital. Now, in a house, we kind of know how to do that. We know how to hide stuff because it's kind of normal and natural. We've done it probably all our lives. In the market, there's different strategies to hide your money. There's iron condors, there's verticals when we get to options. There's different prices when you deal with stocks. So there's different ways to hide money. And most people are not familiar with that, because in the market, hiding money is different than it is in the real world. So this is kind of the stuff we go over in coaching and mentoring and so on that I really work with people. But unfortunately, a lot of people lose money in the market because they focus on the wrong things. They're studying the wrong things. Because if you know how to hide your money and the market goes against you, you're not going to have a lot of trouble. But we're looking for technical analysis. And what is that? What is technical analysis? Technical analysis is kind of the magic spot to hide your money, or it'll give you an edge. What is the, hey, number one option strategy that works for me? What does that video mean? It means, hey, hide it in the toilet instead of maybe in the bookcase. What is, the top 3 indicators that you should use? Again, it's the same thing. It's just like looking for that golden goose instead of actually building upon the core principle, spreading your money properly, risk and money management. And using all these different strategies is how you would do that. Now, that's beyond the scope of this video. This is where I spend weeks and months with people one-on-one, even getting them to understand that and working with them through exercises. But I hope you see what the big difference is when we actually are starting to think properly. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of people lose most of their money in the markets. It's because the information that's provided is incorrect. And why is the information provided that's not really beneficial? It's because that's what people are searching for. That's what's getting clicks. And unfortunately, to attract those people, to actually get them to learn and grow, when I try to get them to learn and grow, this is the approach we have to take. Otherwise, you go ahead and, it passes on the video. Now, I will say there's a lot of people online that are teaching this stuff that don't understand the risk and money management. They will teach you the hot indicators, the secret sauce, the magic formula. But all of that is a very small fraction to what you actually need to learn and study, which is risk and money management. So in either case, if you kind of get this point and you're still at this video stage, then I applaud you because you'll be ahead of most people. If for the people that have already passed or clicked off the video, then in that case, they'll still continue to look for that golden goose and golden nugget, and they'll probably not be successful in trading in the long haul. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. I hope this opens your mind up a little bit further in the mental game here that we just played. And, continue to watch some of the videos there. They'll help you out a bit. Don't get me wrong. Just like this video will probably open you up. And I think the mental videos will help you a lot more. The other videos that I have on YouTube are at a basic level, right? They'll help you a tiny bit. They're not going to help you a great deal. And it's because, unfortunately, the risk and money management, it's kind of very minimal there. Because it's not what people are looking for. It's not what people want. Because there's a lot of things, what people actually need is not what's being searched. People are searching for what they want, not necessarily what they need. And we need to convert what they actually, want to projecting, teaching them, and educating them on what they actually truly need. So anyways, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video.